Are you like me and you think about finance and numbers and planning for your future and go, I don't know where to begin? We got you covered. Stay tuned. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Experts Dig In with Doggies for Dementia. I am Carmen DeValis and the founder of Doggies for Dementia. We are a 501c3 nonprofit with the mission to provide some really wonderful experiences for families. We photograph families with their pet dogs, usually dogs. And then together with the families, we share their stories and we help raise awareness, really to show the world and teach the world about dementia and help reduce some of the stigma and isolation. And this is our YouTube video channel called Experts Dig In with Doggies for Dementia, really to help family caregivers and for others to learn about dementia and caring for a loved one with dementia. So today I am thrilled to have my friend and money expert here, Jennifer Ewing, who is a wealth business. I know your business is a wealth clarity business.
Yes, I run a wealth clarity business. Mostly I work with successful business women, but that is not an exclusive club. I like working with all types of people, even couples.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. And a lot of the caregivers are women or caregivers to be. So I know a lot of our audience may not be actual caregivers now, but they see that as part of their future, which is why I thought it was really important to talk about this, because planning, well, that's your thing, planning.
Yes, and about 75% of all women, excuse me, are caregivers.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the.
You're frozen.
I froze.
Just a second.
Oh.
And my voice cracked. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Edit.
I think we're getting some storms around here, so we're going to have little freezes here and there. I can only hope that I freeze in a position like, where I look good and not like that. But we can't make any promises. Yeah. So I'm not a huge lover of statistics, but you've got some really interesting statistics to share with us that I think would be really eye-opening. So I'm going to let you take it with that, having to do with.
Okay. Well, like I said, approximately 75% of caregivers are women. The median age is 49.2 years of age, which to me is really young.
Very young. Very young.
Yes. And they spend an average of 24.4 hours a week on caregiving.
24 hours a week.
24,
which would make it
basically 24 and a half.
Yeah.
So a day and a half, a full day, and then half an hour.
Yeah. If you're looking at a 40-hour week, that's part-time, but it'd be very difficult to have a job.
So $304,000 in wages and benefits caregivers lose on average every year.
Repeat that.
$304,000 in wages and benefits caregivers lose on average over their lifetimes.
$304,000.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's astounding. It is something we definitely need to plan for.
I think astounding is a good job. It left me speechless, which, rarely happens. Yeah. Yeah. I just, I'm a little above that age, being 62, but I think about the 49-year-old is the average age. So we've got women, primarily women, but some men too, but who are likely raising children or maybe younger to teenagers, but still have a career, family, and are also caregivers. And so you take a busy life, a full life with a family and a career, and you
Yes.
add caregiving, which is half of that time.
That's a lot of hats to wear.
Without the income, and saying, hey, you just go for it, girl. You can do it. It's like you get to sit and watch TV and eat bonbons all day because you're a caregiver. And it's like the furthest.
Oh, anyone that has done that knows that is far from the truth.
It's far from the truth. Far from the truth. I hear it a lot, though. And definitely, you know, one of the things that's not talked about is the financial burden, because the emotional burden is so big that there's so much guilt associated with caregiving anyway, that you start talking about financial burden, it just adds to that guilt and shame about the whole thing. But we're going to talk about that today because it is so important. Okay, so I'm in my dreams 49 years old, but I'm finding myself in this situation, and I'm concerned about caring for a parent. And I'm thinking, I need to call somebody. I don't know who to call or what to ask. I don't even know enough to know what to ask.
Yes.
Is it appropriate to call you then as an advisor and to help with the finance part?
Absolutely. It's health and wealth that I deal with. It's not just numbers. You need to make that plan.
Yeah.
And planning is very, very important and can be the key to your success
Even if
failure.
Yeah. And planning, even if I'm finding myself in the situation right now, you still are planning for the future, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can even plan beyond the time that you're no longer on this earth by estate planning. So planning is just, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah. You know, money is one of those things, and I know I'm not alone in this because we all have our own mindset about money in it. And it's something that's a little scary to me to even dive into because it's not, I kind of think more artistically, and, you know, the linear thoughts are like, whoa, even though I was pretty good at math, but still it's, and so I would really rely on someone to give me guidance on that. And
well, you really need someone that is not so subjective. You need someone very objective that's not so personally attached, and someone that can see the whole picture.
Yeah, that flyover view, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so I give you a call. What would be, like, say, the top 3 to 5 things that you could do to help me?
Goodness. Well, let's see. I would first want to know, my first question would be, do you have power of attorney?
Okay.
Because depending upon the stage of decline, that will be very, very important. And that's probably the first order of business that I would suggest you look into. Second thing is, we would look at all of your assets. We would start gathering and then looking and reviewing and seeing, are there maybe some coverages that you are entitled to, or your loved one is entitled to, that you're not aware of? So we would look at insurance policies, and assets, and see about planning for income. And then third is, I'm a great connector. It's like I said, not all about dollars and cents. If someone needs help with something, I know a lot of people.
I want to go back through just a little bit. So power of attorney, a lot of us don't know even what that is, but you can help with saying, this is what forms you need, how to get it done.
I am not an attorney, so I don't prepare legal documents. I do work with estate planning and senior care attorneys, so we would probably reach out to them and have them help with that aspect. Good. But I can help you go down the road and distinguish what types of powers of attorneys there are, and what is a power of attorney.
So it'd be like, this is who you need to call, or the position of that kind of attorney.
Yes, because we would want to make sure everything is legally correct.
Very important. That's the other area that makes a lot of us shiver in our seats, right? Legal stuff.
Yes.
And so, so having the know-it-all and the saying you need to call an attorney that does estate planning and ask for
that comes into the connector part of my business. Sometimes I call it air traffic control, because I make sure that everyone's doing their job for you and staying on track.
Okay. How valuable is that? So your air traffic control, so you're like the ringleader to be sure these things are
It's
getting
very
done.
valuable, because you're caregiving. You don't have any extra time to devote to that. And you might not know the people to call. You might not know the things you need. It's all, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, so true.
Putting you in touch with those correct people to get those legal documents is one aspect.
Yeah, and I just along this topic is that I don't, in working with so many caregivers, I cannot stress just how difficult becoming a caregiver, or even thinking that you will become. The crises, it is really a big crisis in so many ways. And to have someone that you can rely on to kind of hold your hand through it and to help. Because even when you do know about this, when you hit that crisis mode, it's like out the window for a lot of it. And the follow-up.
Your mind is elsewhere.
Yeah, it'd be kind of, along the lines of, I think I did that paperwork and maybe, but where is it in the stack of stuff and appointments and things? So valuable, that piece of it. Yeah, so I think that's important then to have that advisor, that support person that you trust and that you can call, and that it's not a dumb question, or
it is not a dumb question, and you need to know what types of powers of attorney are available. Which one do you need? And does one stop it when your loved one is incapacitated?
Right.
Talk about a big oops if you get the wrong type of power of attorney.
Yeah.
And then when you really need it, the parachute won't open.
Yeah, on top of everything else, that's really heartbreaking. And the second thing you mentioned, so it was power of attorney, and what was the second thing you mentioned? Plan?
Probably, yes, looking at your assets. So we would review, I would have you gather all of the insurance policies, financial investment statements, banking accounts, gather all of that and make sure that they're titled properly and that you understand how they're titled. Do we need to make any changes there? How are they being managed? What is the profile for that particular, if it's an investment, is something that they invested in back in their 40s, and now it was a growth oriented portfolio then, but now obviously we're not really so concerned with growth. They're in their 60s, 70s, and we're looking more for income. So those types of things. Just making sure, again, we talked about the insurance and making sure that you're getting everything you're entitled to. Banking accounts, can we help consolidate some of those? Can we maybe open up a separate bank account to cover special expenses, so forth? And how do we plan for final end of care needs?
Yeah, right. So I hear snoring.
I'm so sorry.
I should say. So, Jennifer has two of the most adorable King Charles Cavalier Spaniels. They really snore, don't they?
They do, and I can move them out of the room if that is an issue.
No, it just made me kind of laugh, and maybe I'm thinking, money. Oh, cute dog. So shiny thing. And so, but one question I did have when you were speaking, I was thinking this to myself then. So if I'm thinking I'm going to need to be caring for a parent, it would be my own financial, because I'm planning on a change of life here happening too, right? Most likely as a caregiver, my life is going to be changing, but it's also about their financial, what they've got for assets
Yes,
and
I would
things.
say probably both.
Mhm. When
You
possible.
know, sometimes you can't look at one without the other because on average, I have the number here. I haven't memorized it, but it's $358,000 is the average total lifetime care cost for someone. And that was in 2019.
Yeah, that's
We
gone
only
up.
know what's happened since then. And I just ran some figures on a insurance policy for long-term care
Yeah.
the other day, and that's anticipated to go upwards of 10, 11, 12,000 a month for care in
Wow.
the projecting out 10, 20 years. But
The care is going to cost that much more.
it's only going to go up. What hasn't gone up? So
Yeah.
but
so
those figures we would need to run. Those are particular to your area where you're located and gender and age.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. I think it's such a special person to be able to make sense of this. So I just want to say that to me, it's a lot.
Well, it's
and
very fulfilling to help clear the
Yeah.
fog for people.
Yeah.
And it's very rewarding to see the difference that you make.
I bet. Well, I could see you doing that. And long-term care insurance is just one piece of it. It's not the financial plan,
Yes,
though.
yes. It is just one piece of this
Mhm.
puzzle, and it is a puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to summarize then, the role when you're thinking and you are a caregiver, if you are already a caregiver or you're considering it, or let's say you're an elder care provider and you've got families and they're sitting there with all these papers. One of great recommendations is to say, let's get you, a good wealth management financial advisor to advise you on the steps so they could break it down for you and help support you and guide you and connect. That's a super important piece. Connect you to the people.
And you should feel comfortable with this person because they are very integral to your success. And if you don't connect with the first advisor that you go to another one. It's like a doctor. We don't always connect with our doctors, and we have to find that right fit.
You really have to. There was a time where just like, well, that's what they do. And it's a role, but it's so much more than that. And because you've got to have that trust and you're going to be talking to them and sharing some very vulnerable information. Money is one of those really highly vulnerable, charged topics.
Outside of your medical, it's probably the most personal thing that I know of.
Yeah. So it's
okay.
So
you need to go to someone that you feel comfortable with and you can relate to, you can communicate with.
Yeah.
I know not all advisors talk the same language. A lot like to use jargon. I don't like to use jargon in my practice. I like to bring it down to the basic level.
Yeah. Well, those of us at the basic level appreciate that. Now,
I was once there myself, so I understand.
Yeah, because it's like me talking in medical terms. If people don't understand me, what good is that? It's
exactly. I mean, I can go look the term up in a medical dictionary, and you can go look the financial term up in a dictionary, but that's no way to operate. You need to be able to communicate.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I know you have a lot. You have a lot going on because education is a big part of what you do.
Yes.
So like calendar of events. I'm really excited to take a look at that. So you and you have a book club planned.
Next year is going to be a very busy year for me. So I'm planning out my first quarter already, and we'll be posting it on my social media and website when it is completed and up. I'll also have print copies. If I run into you, I'll I'll give you some to hand out. But
Yay.
some of the exciting things are Savvy Women Invest on Purpose, my book club, Women, Words, and Wisdom, and a movie night, which I held this year that was really a lot of fun, and a couple of other seminar types, but not boring, thrown in there. The first one, I believe, is taxing times ahead, because taxes are big on everyone's mind.
That's for sure. Is it
Yeah.
today? That's my thing today too.
Yeah.
Quarterly. Yeah. Well, I still love that. So taking some really that are complex topics and emotionally charged topics and just making it understandable, and what a valuable gift that is. So I'll be in some of those. I'm lucky enough.
Good.
I'm lucky enough to be here in Austin, Texas area. So
I hope to see some of you that are listening or watching.
Yeah.
Well.
And then, but I also know you're active on social media. So a lot of this information and like where we can hook it, because the book club will be virtual. Yes, for the most part.
The book club will be virtual. I just made that executive decision because going forward, it's great to think that I'm going to do everything in person. It's also a little taxing when you have to be 5 places in a month, different places. So part of it was to help you, the participant, and part of it was to help me, the presenter. So I'm in the midst of picking out the book right now, and it will be a limited number of people, and the book will be provided.
That's some. Yeah. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about your 2022. Plus, you're going to be a newlywed. So. Yeah,
I put a lot of work into it these last few months.
I know. And I'm not saying this just because we're friends. I mean, I so admire what you're doing and how you're helping people. And I look forward to being right there with you. Not doing the hard work, of course, but being there, cheering you on.
Oh, well, my job is very easy compared to caregivers and what they have to do. And, there's this 24/7.
Yeah.
I do get to go home and turn my phone off and kind of put everything to rest for a few hours, but caregivers don't. And I just really, if I can do anything to help them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I think caregiving is the most
it is
all around challenging thing that any of us will do, because you're caring for someone you love, you care about, on top of the physical and emotional toll. Yeah. I want to let people know, you share with us, how can we follow you and find you on social media, or I'm going to have some of the links down below in the comment section, but share that here too. How do we?
Sure. So the name of my firm is Ewing Financial Group, LLC, and you spell Ewing, EWING. And you will find me under that name both on Facebook and Instagram. And if you are on LinkedIn, it's Jennifer Ewing Ewing Financial Group, LLC.
Cool.
Okay. Those are the 3 platforms I'm on. And then if you want to email me, my email is jennifer@ewingfinance.com. And if you want to do the old-fashioned way, give me a call, 512-277-3274.
Okay. I think maybe perhaps one of the most valuable things today is for us to hear just how easy it is to get help with this, and that it's a phone call. Let's just make that first step is just simply a phone call, and there are no crazy or stupid or dumb calls or questions. It's all good. Did I freeze?
No, I had a strange thing pop up on my computer. Sorry.
Oh, again, I hope I froze beautifully. And so,
my Norton. I don't know.
So it's just that first step is making the call, and then going from there. Because I think when we think about it all, it's a mountain on top of other mountains and break it down, make a call, and
Yes.
then take it step by step. And it's like bite by bite instead of the whole thing, right? And
Yes, and you should not feel intimidated. You should not feel pressured. You should not feel any of that. It should be a natural relationship that you have with your advisor.
mhm,
And really, they're a trusted confidant.
yeah,
They're part of your team.
yeah. I love that. It's part of the team.
Mhm.
Yeah, and no guilt associated with saying, "Oh my goodness, I got to think about money here," because that's life. And
Yes,
honestly, the health problems get worse for people, or even for caregivers, are a high risk when we're worried about money on top of it. So,
yes, your
you
stress
know,
levels attribute to your health, as you know, and also your ability and what energies you have, how you spend them. So
hmm hmm
definitely employ people that can help you.
hmm Well, there will be room in the comments, of course, for any questions you might have for Jennifer or regarding Doggies for Dementia. We're here. We'll take a look at those and answer them. And I look forward to seeing you out there on social media too, because I know we have viewers, well, actually from all over the country and the world now.
And I did forget to mention, I am planning a Zoom webinar on December 2nd, specifically on long-term care policies.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
if you just want information, it's a great time to just, if you
Okay.
can't make that presentation, register, because I will send you the recording, but I
Okay.
can't send it to you unless you register.
Okay. All right. So we'll share that on our Facebook group, which is
Okay.
Digging In with Doggies for Dementia. Stuck with a theme. And on our Facebook page also for Doggies for Dementia, because it's that's gold. That's really gold. I'll be listening, hopefully in person.
Hope so.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
excuse my dog snoring, but I'm also carrying through the theme of doggies with dementia. So I have the doggies.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And they're adorable. So I've done some photography for Jennifer, and your dogs are part of your branding, and they're part of so your social media. So if y'all want to see Pippa and Poppy, just follow
They
on.
are, and if you want them to be your comforter during our conversation together, they're right here. They're my comforters in chief. And
Yeah.
like with
Oh.
your job, it helps kind of ease the situation and bring people more
Mhm.
comfort and be more relaxed.
Comforters in chief.
Yes,
I like that. Yeah, Sparky's my chief canine officer. But I
exactly.
like that, comforters in chief. So yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I may have to include them in the picture on our cover here for the video.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Well, we're going to close. And thank you so much for listening to Experts Dig In with Doggies for Dementia. Today with my special guest, Jennifer Ewing. We're talking about the tough topic, money and finances, and great information. And I know there will be more to follow. We look forward to your questions. Now, thanks for watching, everybody. See you
Thank you for
next
your
week.
time.
Bye-bye.